So here we want to study something called a stretch shortening cycle, where the muscle has some pre-activation, so then on landing the muscle is stretched. In this case we're talking about the triceps surae or plantar flexors of the foot, and then immediately following with no delay there's a concentric contraction or shortening, and that's called a stretch shortening cycle. So here is a study that tried to investigate the potential muscle dynamics during a stretch shortening cycle. This is a clinical researcher from Europe. He's inserting a fiber optic cable here into the Achilles tendon, and then they're collecting simultaneously EMG data of the calf. Here's the data, and we can see here the top three graphs are rectified EMG signal from the tibialis anterior, the gastrocnemius muscle, and the soleus muscle. And if we look a little farther down, here we have Achilles tendon tension, so that's the force reading from the fiber optic cable. And then if we draw a line approximately halfway down the graph, timing-wise, we have the eccentric contraction occurring just to the left of the red line, and we can see large bursts in the plantar flexors, and then a significant amount of force. And then to the right of the line, we have a concentric contraction where we also have some EMG activation and a significant amount of force. So using the data from that stretch shortening cycle, we can see here there's two tasks. They had ball running and hopping. Let's stick to the hopping graph on the right. What the authors did is try to reproduce the force velocity curve of the muscle. And so here we have shortening velocities, or lengthening velocities to the left, shortening velocities to the right, and so isometric contractions here. And the dotted line is an idealized force velocity curve. And so essentially what we can see here is that we had experienced right on landing. It was at this point we had some strong eccentric contractions with little force, and then we had this eccentric contraction progress to an isometric, and then it progressed to a concentric contraction. So what might surprise you is that in this particular case, instead of the concentric contraction declining as it was expected to by the dotted line, this filled in area is the augmentation in force that occurred because of a stretch shortening cycle.